Oprah Winfrey and Dr. Bruce Perry's book, What Happened to You? They ask a question that changed how learning to understand myself. Not what is wrong with you, but what happened to you? I've been sitting with that question for a while now, and I think I'm finally ready to answer some parts of it. It's been 27 years, 27 since I lost my mom, and I don't have many memories of her, just little fragments here and there. And the clearest one that comes to mind always is the one where she's standing on the veranda sporting some green shorts. I'm not so sure about the t-shirt, but I imagine it's a matching t-shirt and a brown belt. She has one hand on her hip and she's smiling. That's it. Out of an entire lifetime together. Well, not so much of a lifetime, but yeah, out of an entire lifetime together. That's the picture my heart chooses to keep. When my mom died, I was 10 and I did not grieve her. Didn't know how. I never understood how. How do you tell a 10-year-old to grieve? How do you tell a 10-year-old to process her mother's death? How do you tell a 10-year-old that life as she knows it has changed? Life as she will ever know has changed. And so I survived her loss, and I would like to think that those are two different things, grieving her and surviving her loss. I became responsible. I became strong. I helped raise my siblings. I was always in parental mode, always fending for others, always protecting others. I embodied my mother's role at 10 at the expense of my own childhood. I remember her frequently saying, "Look after my child." And she met my younger brother. And as a child myself, when she passed, I took that role seriously. I didn't have time to ask why or what had happened. I just kept moving because that's what survival looks like. That was the card that life dealt me. And responsible, I became parent at 10. I became my young brother's protector. I became my young brother's provider. I became my young brother's shield. And now I'm 37. And in the same month that I lost my mom, it's the same month that I celebrate my daughter. Wow, talk about life giving you some funny moments to reflect on, right? So in May, I celebrated my daughter's 14th birthday, and I sat there looking at her at 14, this is the same age, actually, I was younger, that life asked me to become an adult. And so when I look at her, I really see how young she is, and I see how young I was. I see how much I carried. But for her, she gets to dream, she gets to make mistakes. She gets to have a mother. She gets to enjoy her childhood. And I've stopped to ask myself, am I sometimes hard on her? Am I sometimes too strict? Because at that age, her age, I was already fending for others. I was already protecting others. I don't think I really became a teenager. No, I don't think I ever even enjoyed teenagehood. And seeing that opened something inside me, a grief I never fully processed. I vividly remember dreaming about my mom's death. I was in grade 6 and I was in boarding school, and my mom had been sick for quite some time. So I guess boarding was also kind of a shield, but I had been a boarder for quite some years. So that particular week, I dreamt about her. I don't really remember the dream, but it was a nightmare, something bad. And then I went to the matron to request to make a phone call home. If I remember correctly, we were allowed to use the telephone on Fridays. Or was it Saturdays? I'm not sure. But it was in between the week. So I woke up, I went to the matron. I was like, I need to call my mom. I need to see my mom. And then she was like, but you know that it's during the week. You have to wait until Friday. And then I think it was lunchtime. I went back again. And I said, I really, really need to call my mom. And then I think she saw the desperation in my eyes or my voice or whatever. And she allowed me to call. And I remember calling my dad. I think I called his office and I told him, you need to come pick me up. I need to see mom as soon as possible. And then he said, yeah, we're going to come pick you up on Friday. We were allowed to go home on Friday for the weekend. And I remember he came on a Thursday, and just seeing him come out of the car. He didn't have to explain anything. He didn't have to tell me that she was gone. She was gone for the longest time. That memory has haunted me. It still haunts me. And we drove off. He didn't say anything. He was just silent. I don't think he knew what to say. We got home. We were staying back then. And back home, like when there's a funeral back in the day, I don't know if they still do that. Like we remove all the curtains and then we hang like a red cloth by the gate. So there was a red cloth. There were so many people. And culturally, the child is the one who greets everybody, and I still have this memory as I'm getting into the house. I mean, it was a 4-roomed house and it's a little bit small and so many people, so it was like congested. And so I got in, I started kneeling, trying to pay my respects. And now in my adulthood, I'm like, how messed up was that? I was the one paying my respects to people, and yet I was the one who had lost the most. I was the one whose life ended like that. Yeah, I don't remember the whole funeral, like going to the grave or a church service. I feel like my mind truly blocked that, and I don't really remember much. I don't remember grieving her. I don't remember even talking about her. I was embarrassed to talk about her. I was confused. I didn't know how to process that I lost my mom, and I fully started realizing my loss when I turned 30. My mom passed away. I think she was like 33. And when I turned 30, this fear gripped my life. This fear of dying myself. I think for like 2-3 years after I turned 30, I just couldn't celebrate my birthday. I was fearful, and worse, I would look at my daughter and look at her and think, will she survive? Will she survive? I mean, we do not know when our time will come. But from where I'm standing, any child who loses their mom when they're too young, be it at birth, be it when they're 1, 5, 10, it's just never easy. I'm not saying that losing your mom in your adulthood is easy either, but it's different. It is really different. So, yeah, this is me healing. This is me grieving. This is me really accepting, letting go, and coexisting with the pain and embracing the duality of life. I can grieve and heal at the same time. I am no longer grieving the loss of my mother as a child. I'm grieving the mother I needed at every stage of my life after she was gone. In Zimbabwe, we have a saying that in Ndebele that loosely translates to, he who does not have a mother is surely an orphan. I get it now. I truly understand it. Because now I'm a mother myself. I see everything she did that nobody noticed. Everything that went unseen. Everything that was simply expected. And I think those who still have their mothers, hold that, really hold it, because you don't always know what you have until you're the one trying to be. And I see how a mother protects. I see how a mother fends for their child. I see how a mother goes to the ends of the earth for their child. And that is an extension of God's love here on earth. And to walk life with feeling like you don't have that love, feeling like you don't have that protection, feeling like you don't have that person who would go through the fire for you, who would go to the ends of the earth for you, can really feel empty and so alone. I just want to say, if your mother is alive today, just pick up a phone. Just text, tell them you love them, tell them you appreciate them, tell them you are thankful for the things that they have done that you possibly don't know. Tell them that you are thankful for the prayers that they hold for you that you do not know, for the protection, for the covering that you are taking for granted. And if you do appreciate them, keep on appreciating them. So many people are asking me why that's at 37, I'm on this reinvention journey, why I'm rebuilding my finances, my health, my career, my future. And I really think that this is part of the answer, because most of my life I have been surviving. Most of my life, I am the one who is strong, the strong one for others. I am the responsible one. I am the one who carries everyone's problem. I'm the one who carries everything. I'm the one who is expected to be a brick wall who's expected not to fall apart when shit hits the fan. But this reinvention isn't about becoming someone else. It's finally giving myself permission to heal, permission to become me, permission to stop surviving, permission to stop being everything for everyone and start living for me and start honoring Gracie. Sometimes I wonder what my mom would think if she could see me now, a mother myself, still trying, still learning, still standing. 27 years later, I miss her. I still miss her. I love her like she was here, and I will continue loving. But today, I give myself permission to fully grieve, to fully learn to grieve. And maybe that's what it means to finally become whole. If any part of this resonated with you, this video is part of a bigger journey, a 365-day journey of reinvention. I'm building my finances, my health, my career, and myself. Please subscribe and join me on that journey. Come with me, and thank you for listening and being part of this video. Ciao, ciao.